Ambassador Zethkar adjusted his crystalline breathing apparatus as he strode into the Grand Council chamber, his forearms gesturing dismissively at the holographic displays showing primitive Earth vessels. The assembled representatives of the Galactic Council, beings from 12 advanced civilizations spanning 3 spiral arms, watched with mild curiosity as he prepared his presentation. "Esteemed colleagues," Zethkar began, his translator converting his clicking mandibles into the common tongue. "Today we address the humans. These bipedal mammals from the 3rd planet of a minor yellow star have somehow stumbled upon faster-than-light travel. They request membership in our council." A ripple of what could generously be called laughter echoed through the chamber. The Veltari representative, resembling a floating jellyfish made of living light, pulsed with amusement. "Membership? Have they even achieved quantum consciousness?" "Negative," Zethkar replied, pulling up holographic data. "They still use primitive binary computing. Their weapons are chemical-based projectiles and crude fusion devices. Their ships barely maintain structural integrity during jump transitions. Most telling of all, they still wage wars among themselves. High Chancellor Morden, a being whose species had transcended physical form millennia ago, manifested as a shimmering geometric pattern above the central podium. Then why waste our time? Standard protocol suggests we wait another 1,000 years before reassessing their development." Zethkar's mandibles clicked approval. "Precisely. I motion to classify them as primitive, monitor-only status. Let them play with their toys while we attend to matters worthy of civilized beings." The vote was unanimous. Captain Sarah Chen received the Council's decision while her diplomatic vessel, the Hope's Edge, held position at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. The message was brief, condescending, and dismissive. She read it twice, her jaw tightening with each word. "Ma'am?" First Officer Rodriguez looked up from his station. "Orders?" Chen stared at the swirling blue-green world below. Humanity's first colony beyond the Sol system, established just 3 years prior. 40,000 humans lived on that planet, including her daughter. "Patch me through to Fleet Command. Priority, Alpha." "Captain?" Dr. Elizabeth Hayes, their xenobiologist, approached with obvious concern. "What did they say?" "They called us primitive," Chen said quietly. "They said we're not ready for their enlightened society because we still fight wars." The bridge fell silent except for the soft hum of life support systems. "Funny thing about humans," Chen continued, her voice gaining an edge that made several crew members unconsciously straighten. "We don't stop being dangerous just because someone calls us primitive." Admiral Marcus Torres stood in the war room, aboard the orbital station New Geneva, surrounded by holographic displays showing the positions of humanity's modest fleet. 67 ships total, a fraction of what any council member could field. But as he studied the tactical readouts, Torres smiled grimly. "They made one crucial error in their assessment," he told the assembled fleet captains. "They assumed our primitive nature was a weakness." The display shifted to show the Council's fleet positions throughout the galaxy, massive dreadnoughts and planet-sized vessels that moved like stately monuments through space. "Look at their formation patterns," Torres continued. "Perfect geometric arrays, beautiful, ceremonial, designed for shows of force against civilized opponents who follow rules of engagement." He paused. "We're not civilized. We're human." Captain Yuki Tanaka of the stealth corvette Phantom leaned forward. "What's the play, Admiral?" Torres's smile widened. "We remind them why predator species don't usually survive long enough to reach the stars, unless they're very, very good at it. The first sign something was wrong came when the Council's long-range sensors detected impossible acceleration signatures from human vessels. Ships that should have taken days to cross a system were arriving in hours, pushing their engines far, beyond safe parameters. "They're burning out their own systems," observed Science Coordinator Vexhai aboard the Council dreadnought Eternal Wisdom. "Suicidal." High Chancellor Morden's geometric form flickered with confusion as reports flooded in. Human ships weren't engaging the massive Council vessels directly. Instead, they were hitting supply lines, communication relays, and logistics hubs, Small, fast strikes that seemed almost random. "They lack the courage to face us directly," sneered Admiral Zethkar. "Typical primitive behavior." His words were cut short as proximity alarms screamed throughout the eternal wisdom. Somehow, a human vessel had approached within weapons range without being detected. The Phantom had spent 3 hours drifting with all systems powered down, masquerading as debris from an ancient battle. Now Captain Tanaka's crew fired a full spread of nuclear torpedoes at point-blank range, targeting not the dreadnought's weapons or engines but its artificial gravity generators. The eternal wisdom was designed to fight in the vacuum of space, not while tumbling end over end as its crew struggled against sudden gravitational chaos. More human ships emerged from asteroid fields, gas giant atmospheres, and stellar corona, where no sane pilot would venture. "Impossible," whispered Zethkar as his bridge crew was thrown against bulkheads. "No species risks their ships in such environments." But humans had learned to fight in Earth's crushing ocean depths, searing deserts and frozen poles. To them, space was just another hostile environment to master. Within 4 hours, 17 Council supply depots had been destroyed. 6 major communication hubs were offline, and 3 Council species had lost contact with their homeworlds entirely. The humans had struck with surgical precision at the very infrastructure that held the galactic civilization together. Captain Chen stood on the bridge of Hope's Edge, as it held position directly above the Council's primary diplomatic station. Her ship's modest weapons were trained on the station's reactor complex, a reactor that powered the quantum consciousness matrices of 4 million beings. The communication came from High Chancellor Morden himself. "Captain Chen, we request parley. Terms may be discussed." Chen looked at the peaceful world below, where her daughter was likely sleeping under alien stars, dreaming of a future among the cosmos. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of a species that had clawed its way from caves to stars, not through enlightenment, but through an absolute refusal to give up. "The terms are simple, Chancellor. Humanity gets full Council membership with all rights and protections. Our colonies are recognized as sovereign territory. And you remember, the next time someone asks if humans are primitive, that the most dangerous predator is the one that's smart enough to know it's being underestimated." The response came within minutes. Terms accepted. Later, military historians would debate whether the engagement could technically be called a war, given its brief duration. Humans, characteristically, just called it Tuesday. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Evolution doesn't make species less dangerous. It makes them more efficiently dangerous. And humanity had spent 3 million years perfecting the art of being dangerous to things much larger than themselves. The Council had declared humans primitive at 0800 Galactic Standard Time. At 1300, they were composing surrender terms. Some primitives, it turned out, were more primitive than others.